Some people don't ask for help, they stage it. My best friend didn't text me privately. She didn't have a conversation. She grabbed a microphone at her gender reveal and told a crowd of 40 people that her baby needed a richer godmother. Translation: if I wasn't paying, I was replaceable. That's when I understood something very clearly. I wasn't her best friend. I was her budget line. If you've never been publicly joked into a corner, let me explain what it feels like. It's not funny. Not to the person being targeted. It's a spotlight you didn't ask for, pointed at you by someone you trusted, while everyone around you waits to see if you'll laugh or bleed. My best friend did it at her gender reveal, in front of about 40 people. Family, coworkers, old friends from college, her partner's friends, and a handful of women who only knew her because pregnancy turns acquaintances into an audience. There were balloons everywhere. A rented backyard with a cheap white tent, a balloon arch that looked like it had been assembled by someone fighting for their life, pink and blue cupcakes, a team boy and team girl sign. Someone had brought a ring light. Someone else had brought a tripod. Because of course they had. And I was standing there thinking, this is sweet. She's finally getting what she wanted. A stable partner, a baby, a future that didn't feel like a sprint away from disaster. I should have known better. She had been spiraling in small ways for months. It started like it always does with her. Soft, cute, a little needy, but packaged like affection. Can you come with me to the doctor? I don't want to go alone. Can you help me pick out baby stuff? You're better at budgeting. Can I vent? I feel like everyone's judging me. Then the money requests began to show up again, slipping into the conversation like a hand into your purse. Hey, can you spot me for the prenatal vitamins? I'll pay you back Friday. Can you send me $60? My card is acting weird and I need gas. Can you cover the deposit for the photographer? It's just for the reveal and I'll reimburse you. I said yes because I always said yes. Not because I'm stupid, not because I love being used, because our friendship started when we were broke and young and the world felt like it wanted to chew us up. She was the loud one, the brave one, the one who would stand between you and a bully like she didn't understand fear. I was the steady one, the one who figured out how to fix things quietly. And somewhere along the way, steady became available. By the time the gender reveal rolled around, I had already paid for the cake, the balloons, and the little confetti cannons that were supposed to explode into a pink or blue cloud like we were summoning a celebrity baby. I told myself it was fine. It's a milestone. She's stressed. She's pregnant. And I wasn't even trying to be a martyr about it. I was just tired. The day of the reveal, she pulled me aside before anyone arrived. Her hair was curled, makeup perfect. She looked glowing in that carefully curated way that takes hours. She grabbed my hands. "You're my person," she said, eyes shimmering. "I don't know what I'd do without you." There's a kind of compliment that isn't a compliment. It's a claim. "You've been here through everything," she continued, "so I want you right next to me when we do it." "Of course," I said, smiling. She squeezed harder. "And after, I want to announce something." My stomach tightened. "What?" She smiled like it was a surprise gift. "The godmother," she whispered. "I'm going to ask you in front of everyone." My mouth went dry. In front of everyone. Public. A trap disguised as an honor. "That's sweet," I said carefully. "But you don't have to do it like that." She pouted. "Why not? You're my best friend." Because saying no would look like cruelty. Because saying yes would be a contract. Because you never ask someone something meaningful in public unless you're willing to accept a no publicly too. And she wasn't. Before I could reply, she kissed my cheek and walked away like it was already decided. The reveal itself was delayed by an hour because her partner's cousin had to run home for something, and because the photographer needed golden light, and because someone forgot ice, and because her mom insisted on rearranging the food table 12 times. I stood there watching the chaos and thinking, this is what she does. She makes everything into a production. But I still didn't expect what came next. When everyone finally gathered near the balloon arch, her partner held the confetti cannon. Her family screamed and clapped. Someone started chanting, "Boy, boy, boy," like we were at a sports game. My best friend took the microphone. She tapped it twice. The sound squealed. Everyone laughed. She looked directly at me. "Before we do the big moment," she said brightly, "I just want to thank the person who made this possible." I blinked. A few people turned toward me. My face warmed. "This whole day," she continued, "the decorations, the cake, the photographer, I couldn't have done it without my best friend." The crowd clapped. My throat tightened. That was nice. Then she smiled wider. Too wide. "And since we're being honest," she said, voice cutting through the applause, "this baby needs a richer godmother." The clapping died midair. Not all at once, like a wave hitting a wall. Someone laughed nervously. Another person went, "Oh!" I felt my blood rush into my ears. She kept going. "She's amazing," she said, gesturing toward me like I was a prize. "But let's be real. I need someone who can actually step up. You know, like, diapers are expensive, daycare is insane, and I'm not doing this alone." Her partner's smile twitched. His eyes darted to me, then away, like he wanted to disappear into the grass. My best friend lifted her eyebrows at me, still smiling. "You get it," she said. "Right?" There it was, the public corner. The moment where the room waits for your reaction so they can decide what kind of story to tell about you afterward. I looked around. People weren't cheering anymore. They were watching. Phones were up, not for the reveal, for me. I could feel my hands trembling slightly. My best friend leaned closer to the microphone. "I mean," she laughed, "you've helped me so much already. It would be silly to stop now. And I know you have savings." Savings. She said it like it was a community fund. I heard myself speak before I could soften it. "Is that what this is?" I asked. Her smile flickered. "What?" "A fundraiser," I said, and my voice was steady in a way I didn't recognize. A few people gasped quietly. My best friend's eyes widened, then narrowed. "Don't be dramatic," she said, laughing too loudly. "It's a joke." I stared at her. A joke is something both people can laugh at. This wasn't that. She leaned toward me, still holding the microphone, and lowered her voice like it was just between us, even though everyone could still hear. "Don't embarrass me," she hissed. That sentence hit harder than the Godmother comment, because it told me everything. My dignity was negotiable. Her image wasn't. I took a slow breath. Then I did the one thing she never expected. I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I didn't laugh along. I stepped backward. One step. Then another. She smiled wider, panicking now, trying to recover. Okay, she said loudly. "Let's do the reveal." But I wasn't there anymore. Not emotionally, not as her best friend, not as her sponsor. I looked at her, at the microphone in her hand, at the phones pointed at me, at the people waiting for the confetti, like it mattered more than the cruelty that had just happened. And I said clearly, "No, I don't get it." Then I turned around and walked out. I heard someone whisper, "Oh my God." I heard my best friend call my name, sharp and furious. But I didn't turn back. Because I knew if I stayed, I'd either cry or I'd say something I couldn't take back. And I was done giving her parts of me she didn't deserve. I didn't get far before my phone started exploding. 3 missed calls before I even reached my car. 5 texts. Then a voice note. I sat in the driver's seat and just stared at the steering wheel while it vibrated against my thigh. First text. What was that? Second, you embarrassed me in front of everyone. Third, it was a joke. Why are you acting insane? Insane, interesting. I pressed play on the voice note. Her breathing was uneven but not crying. Angry. You couldn't just smile? You couldn't just play along? You made me look stupid. I let out a laugh that didn't feel like mine, made her look stupid. She had just told 40 people I wasn't financially adequate to be a godmother, but I made her look stupid. Another text came through. "Are you coming back? The reveal hasn't happened yet." I typed slowly. "No." The typing bubble appeared instantly. "You're really going to ruin this over a joke?" There it was again. Minimize, dismiss, reframe. I didn't respond. Instead, I opened my banking app. I don't know why. Maybe because when someone tries to gaslight you, numbers feel like oxygen. I scrolled through the transfers. $60, $120. $340, $85, $500 for just until next paycheck, $200 for doctor copay, $300 for emergency, $750 for photographer deposit, I started adding, not emotionally, mathematically. The total made my throat tighten. It wasn't one big loan, it was erosion. My phone buzzed again, this time from a mutual friend. Hey, what happened? I stared at the message. I could already see the narrative forming. Pregnant woman humiliated by jealous friend. I typed back. She publicly said the baby needs a richer godmother. 3 dots. Then, oh, I thought she was joking. Of course. She wasn't, I replied. Another buzz. My best friend again. If you don't come back right now, we're done. I stared at that one longer than the others, because that was the real ultimatum. Not about the godmother role, about obedience. I typed, then we're done. I didn't block her yet. I wanted to see what she would do next. Because escalation is predictable when you know the pattern. Within 10 minutes, she posted a story. Black screen, white text. It hurts when people show their true colors at your happiest moment. Replies were pouring in. Who? Tell me who I need to fight. You don't deserve that. My phone buzzed again. Another voice note. This time she was crying. Full performance. You know I didn't mean it like that. I'm stressed. I'm pregnant. Everything is expensive. I thought you'd understand. You always understand. That last sentence hit differently. You always understand. Translation. You always comply. I closed my eyes. For years, I thought being the understanding one was a compliment. It wasn't. It was conditioning. Another message. Everyone is asking what happened. I don't want to tell them you walked out over nothing. Over nothing. I typed back. Tell them exactly what you said. She didn't reply to that. Instead, my mom texted me. Because of course she did. Why would you leave like that? She's pregnant. I felt my jaw tighten. Being pregnant had become a shield, like it erased cruelty. She humiliated me, I wrote. She was joking, my mom replied. She used my savings as a punchline. Pause. Then, she didn't mean it. That sentence has excused more damage in my life than anything else. She didn't mean it, but she said it, publicly, with intention. And that's what mattered. My phone rang again. Her partner this time. I hesitated, then answered. Hey, he said awkwardly. Hey. She's freaking out, he said. Can you just smooth this over? Everyone's tense. I almost laughed. I'm not smoothing over being told I'm not rich enough to be her godmother. It wasn't like that, he said quickly. Then what was it like? Silence. Then he sighed. She's stressed about money. She thinks if she doesn't secure help now, it's going to get worse. Secure help, like I'm a contract. She's been counting on you, he admitted. That sentence settled into my bones, counting on me, not emotionally, financially. Did she tell you how much she owes me? I asked. Another silence. No, he said quietly. Then maybe start there. I hung up before he could respond. That was the moment the anger shifted into clarity. This wasn't about the godmother title. It was about access. I had been her safety net. And today, she tested how far she could stretch it in front of witnesses. I opened every group chat we shared, girls' night, couples trip 2022, baby planning, brunch queens. One by one, I removed her. No announcement, no dramatic message, just removal. Then I muted them. Then I archived them. Then I blocked her number, finally. My hands were steady now. I opened my notes app, and I started writing. Every transfer, every date, every, I'll pay you back next week. Every time she said, you know I do the same for you, because she wouldn't, and we both knew it. When I finished calculating, I stared at the total. It was enough for a decent used car, enough for a small vacation, enough for a down payment on something meaningful, enough to matter. I opened my email. Subject line, outstanding balance. I typed carefully, not angry, not emotional, clear. As of today, the total amount you owe me is $X. Below is a breakdown of transfers and dates. I expect repayment within 30 days. If you need a payment plan, propose one in writing. I attached screenshots, bank confirmations, time-stamped messages. Then I paused. This was the point of no return. Once I sent it, this wasn't friendship anymore. It was accountability. I hit send. My phone buzzed within 60 seconds. I didn't open it immediately. I let it sit. Because for the first time, I wasn't reacting. I was setting terms. When I finally opened her reply, it was exactly what I expected. "Are you serious?" Yes, I was. Her next message wasn't text. It was a screenshot, my email, forwarded into one of the group chats I hadn't muted yet. Caption: "So this is what she does at my gender reveal." Replies started instantly. "What? Wait, she's charging you? Over money? While you're pregnant?" Charging her. Interesting phrasing. I felt the heat rise up my neck again, but it wasn't panic this time. It was focus. She wanted public? Fine. I opened the group. My name was already being discussed like I wasn't there. "She's always been tight with money. Some people change when they earn more. Pregnancy is stressful. Why would she pile on?" Pile on. As if I had just invented the debt this morning. I typed once, deleted it, typed again, deleted that too. Then I sent one message. "Since this is public now, let's be accurate." The typing bubbles paused. Then I attached the breakdown. Every transfer, every date, every "I'll pay you back next week." Then I added one more screenshot. The exact text she sent me at 6:42 a.m. "Pay for my plastic surgery or you're a bad sister." Wrong story, wrong antagonist. But same entitlement pattern. Except this time it was, "This baby needs a richer godmother." And underneath that, her message from today, "You embarrassed me." I didn't editorialize, I didn't insult her. I just posted the receipts. The chat went quiet. Not awkward quiet, recalculation quiet. She came in fast. "You're seriously weaponizing private messages?" "No," I replied. "You made it public." Her partner finally typed. "I didn't know about the amount." She didn't respond to that. Instead, she pivoted again. "You chose money over my child." And there it was, the ultimate moral card. I took a breath. "No," I wrote. "I chose not to be publicly humiliated and financially used." The messages slowed. Someone replied privately, "Wait, she owes you that much?" Another, "I thought it was just like $100 or something." That's how these things survive, in small assumptions. She called me then, not crying, furious. "How dare you post that?" she hissed. "How dare you?" I replied calmly. "You could have handled this quietly." "So could you." Silence. "You're ruining my reputation." "No," I said. "I'm correcting it." She inhaled sharply. "You knew I didn't mean it. You said it. You know I joke like that. Then explain the debt." That landed, hard, because jokes don't come with invoices. She tried one more angle. "You're jealous." "Of what? The balloon arch? The confetti cannon? The debt?" I almost laughed. "You're pregnant," she said. "This is supposed to be about me." And there it was. Not friendship, ownership. My role in her life was to amplify her milestones, not defend my dignity. "I'm done," I said. "With what?" "With being your backup plan." Silence again. Then the real panic crept into her voice. "You're not serious about the 30 days. "Yes." "You'd actually take me to court?" "If I have to." I didn't say it loudly. I didn't threaten. I stated it, and that's what shifted the power. For years, I had been the flexible one, the forgiving one, the understanding one. Today, I was the documented one. "You wouldn't," she said weakly. "I would." There's something about calm certainty that unsettles loud people. She started crying then. Not dramatic, not performance, actual tears. "You're abandoning me." "No," I said quietly. "I'm separating from you." "That's the same thing." "No, it's not." We stayed on the line for a long time without speaking. Finally, she whispered, "You're really not coming back?" "No." "And you're really expecting the money?" "Yes." She hung up. The group chat remained quiet for hours. Then her partner sent me a private message. "I'll make sure you're paid," he wrote. I stared at it. Not because I was relieved, but because I understood something finally. He had known. He had always known. He just hadn't needed to act until it affected him. The next morning, I received a transfer, not the full amount, but the first installment. No note, no apology, just money. I looked at the notification and felt something shift inside me. Not satisfaction, not revenge, balance. For the first time in years, the scale wasn't tilted toward her chaos. It was level. And she felt it too. Because within minutes, I received one final message. "You've changed." I typed back, "No, I stopped financing your disrespect." And I meant it. The installments came every Friday. Not always on time, not always the same amount, but they came. No messages attached, no emojis, no thank you. Just silent transfers like she was paying off a credit card she resented. We didn't speak, not after that last exchange. The group chats never recovered. They split quietly. A few girls reached out to me privately. Some apologized for assuming. Some admitted they'd thought she was exaggerating the joke even before I left. A couple stayed loyal to her. That was fine. Loyalty built on performance has an expiration date. 2 weeks after the gender reveal, she posted a photo from the event. The confetti midair, big smile, caption, "Not everyone can handle growth." I didn't react because I finally understood something important. Her audience was oxygen. Mine was peace. About a month later, I ran into her at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. Small restaurant, dim lights, nowhere to hide. She was already seated when I walked in. Our eyes met. No warmth, no rage, just recognition. She looked different. Not physically, but smaller somehow. Less certain. She waited until I was halfway through my drink before speaking. "You didn't have to go that hard," she said quietly. I looked at her. "You didn't have to go that public." She flinched. "That was supposed to be funny." "It wasn't." Silence. She tapped her nails against the table. "You made me look like a user." I held her gaze. "Were you?" That landed. She didn't answer. Instead, she said, "I needed support." "You needed funding." "That's the same thing when you're pregnant." "No," I said calmly. "It's not." For the first time in our entire friendship, she didn't argue back immediately. She just stared at the table. "I thought you'd always be there," she said finally. I softened slightly at that. "I was," I said, "until you treated me like a budget." She swallowed. "And now?" "Now I'm not." The rest of the money arrived 2 weeks later. Final transfer. No note, no conversation, just numbers evening out. I stared at the zero balance on my notes app where I'd tracked everything. For years, I had thought our friendship was built on loyalty. Turns out it was built on access. When I removed access, the structure collapsed. And that hurt more than I expected. Because she wasn't just a user. She was the girl who held my hand when my first relationship imploded. The one who snuck wine into bad movie nights. The one who screamed with me when I got my first promotion. People aren't villains in every chapter. Sometimes they just become entitled in slow motion. But pregnancy didn't make her cruel. It amplified what was already there. The need to be center stage. The belief that other people's resources were part of her safety net. The idea that love should feel like insurance. A few months later, I heard through someone else that she chose a different godmother. Someone with a wealthier family. Someone who posted designer diaper bags and nursery tours. Good. That baby deserves someone who's chosen for love, not leverage. I don't hate her. I don't wish her harm. I just don't owe her access anymore. And that's the difference. The day I walked out of that gender reveal, I thought I was losing my best friend. What I actually lost was my role as her backup plan. And when the money cleared, so did something inside me. Being a godmother is an honor, not a subscription. And if someone only values you when you're paying, you were never the friend. You were the funding. I'm not anymore. Here's what she didn't expect. When you remove someone from every group, every contact, every safety net, you remove their leverage. When you send the invoice instead of the apology, you change the game. She called me selfish, cold, unsupportive. But love without respect is just sponsorship. And I'm not a nonprofit. She wanted someone richer. What she got was accountability. And that's a lot more expensive.